Have you ever seen that meme with Charlie Day? You know, the one from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's smoking the cigarette and he's got the red thread going between a million different pictures on a huge corkboard. That's how I'm starting to feel with these huge ensemble cast movies. Trying to pinpoint how these people know each other, where they went to grade school with each other, whose mother slept with whose son. Everybody's connected in some weird way. Thankfully, this week's movie leans away from the sudden impact of seeing two characters that were just scenes apart now suddenly in the same scene. It leans further into the mystery of it. Also, Sean Connery. Welcome to You've Got Mails.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes who?
This is Sean Connery, and welcome to You've Got Mails. Hello, CJ.
I'm not even going to try my Sean Connery.
Welcome to You Got Mails, everybody.
Oh.
I'm Jason. I'm here with CJ. And on today's episode, we'll be talking about a Sean Connery movie.
Hell yeah, we are.
Not The Rock.
And not the one where he is hooked up with women that are quarter his age.
No. You know what's funny about this movie? Well, we'll talk. 1998's Playing by Heart, which is... Can't call it a Love Actually clone, because it came before Love Actually.
Like proto-Love Actually.
It was pre-Love Actually. We've got ALA and PLA, and this is PLA. Pre-Love Actually. Which stars Sean Connery amidst a plethora of other people.
So many people, I was surprised I'd never heard of this movie before.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, I don't think this movie was, like, a big hit. And I'm not saying it's bad. Like, we'll get into that later. Like, I thought it was an okay movie. I'm really surprised I'd never heard of it.
We should get into it now. That's the whole point of this podcast.
You're right. But what I wanted to say about Sean Connery is, so he had done The Rock right prior to this movie, like a year prior. His salary was $14 million. He did this movie for $60,000. And the reason he wanted to do it, because he wanted to play a character his own age who was in a relationship with someone his own age. The actual budget for this movie was $14 million, which is how much Sean Connery made just by himself. And from what I understand, everybody made the same amount of money on this movie. Like, all the actors got $60,000. It was like across the board, everyone was paid the same.
I can appreciate that.
Which is kind of interesting, yeah.
I like that, considering that not too long, I believe, after this was Entrapment, where... Like an 80-year-old, 80-year-old Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, you're Sean Connery. I mean, you can pull a Catherine Zeta-Jones, I feel like.
I was wondering about Louise this episode. Like, is Sean Connery revered like this in Scotland?
I wonder, because he kind of got canceled. Like, I don't know if he got canceled, but he definitely came out. There was that Barbara Walters interview where he was like, it's okay to slap a woman to get your point across. And I was like, God damn, 007. No, it is not.
Wow.
Yeah, he did that. And then haven't heard much from Sean Connery. Like, I think he retired from acting, but also, like, just I don't think anybody wants to see Sean Connery anymore after that.
Well, yeah, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, that came out like a while ago. But when I think of Sean Connery now, that's all I think about.
But Louise, right into us. Let us know, like, are there guys or women in Scotland that just abuse the shit out of that brogue like that?
Yeah.
That man knew how to swing it.
He did.
His voice was like a 14-inch penis.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, anyhow. So this movie starts out... So this is a tough one. Like
14 inches seems like a lot, actually.
It does. Yeah, it does. I'm thinking more like 007
There
inches.
You go.
Average. He's an average man. These movies are so hard to talk about for me. Like, to go plot by plot point, because there's these intertwined stories. And this one, more than any of them, cut so quickly from scene to scene.
Oh, yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go over the beginning of the movie, where we get introduced to all these people, because they have their own little introductory scenes with like a little title card of their names and characters, kind of like set everybody up. And then maybe we'll just break down each relationship and then tie it all together at the end, just like this movie does.
Okay.
At the end.
I like it.
But the movie starts out over the title credits, a monologue, essentially. It's Angelina Jolie. She plays a character named Joan. And she is just talking about how she has a jazz musician friend, and he plays this song. And after he was done playing, she wanted to talk about it, and he told her you can't talk about music. Like, talking about music is like dancing about architecture.
Which apparently was the original title of this movie.
Dancing about architecture?
Yeah.
Which is terrible. Nobody would have seen this movie.
Yeah, there was a good reason they changed that.
Nobody saw it as it is. If they would have changed it to that title, absolutely no one would have seen this movie.
Yes.
So she says that, and she's sitting at a table talking to someone, but we don't know who. And then she says, well, for that matter, like dancing about architecture, it's kind of like talking about love. And that's where we get the title card, Playing by Heart. And then we also get, like I said, with every single character introduced, you get their name. So she's Joan. Next we get, I don't want to rate these necessarily yet, but maybe we will at some point.
What, your favorite?
Like my favorite storyline or my favorite character? Fucking Dennis Quaid walks into this bar.
Which is the beginning of like 60% of my jokes. Dennis Quaid walks into a bar.
He's doing the saddest Clint Eastwood in the Rain impression. Like, he is soaked and just looks like just so sad. Like the saddest face you've ever seen. And he walks into this bar and just walks up to a woman. Just a random woman. And he's just like, I lost my wife and kids. And this poor woman who's just like trying to have a drink by herself is like, well, maybe the bartender can find him. He's pretty good at that. He's like, no, they're dead. Hugh. His name is Hugh. And we get like this name card for him. And then we just cut away from Hugh and we're like, this guy's a whole ass vibe. Like, if someone walked into a bar and I'm just trying to enjoy a drink.
I was wondering about this. Do you have like a best random bar person? Like somebody that you just sat down next to, you weren't expecting to talk to at all. And like an hour later, you're like, what the hell is going on?
Not really. So like, I think like I'm a pretty affable person. Like, I'm friendly. Like, I can talk to just about anybody.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. Like, deep inside, like, I'm very much like I like to be alone. And like, I love you and I love my friends. And like, when I get together with people I know, I'm very happy. But I don't like interactions with strangers.
Oh, man, you're missing out.
And so like, but I tend to attract those people at the bar that want to sit down next to you and tell you their life story. I'm usually just annoyed by it. So none of those are my favorite because I'm usually just like, God damn it, why? Because usually I'll be sitting with a friend on one side of me, and then there's a crazy person on the other side of me. And while I'd rather be like talking to my friend and interacting with them, I'm pulled away by this lunatic who's telling me everything that's happened to them and all this stuff. And I mean, maybe I should be more personable. I don't know. And I am. I fake it.
I love those people.
Yeah?
I really do.
What's yours?
Like,
Do you have a favorite?
I thought about it during this. We have a good mutual friend, Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him were sitting at a bar having a chat one day, and Doug walked up, which that's all I remember about the guy. His name was Doug.
Okay.
He starts BSing a little bit with us. He's from out of town. At one point, we're going for our next beer. He slaps $100 bill on the bar. Says, hey, these guys are on me. Okay, all right. Like, we're chatting. And this guy doesn't seem anything too crazy at the time. So we ask him, it naturally comes up. Hey, man, Doug, what do you do for a living? He goes, I sell rocks. So me and Robbie, being born and raised inner city kids, immediately he like nudges my leg. We're hanging out with a crack dealer.
Yeah.
Like this guy sells rocks, but he's buying our drinks. So we start to ask him, cool stories. He talks about somebody trying to rob one of his shipments once. He had to fight a guy down. 30 minutes later, we're in the middle of this conversation. He goes, hey, you guys seem to know this area pretty well. Do you know where I could park a dump truck? We're like, this is getting interesting now. We're like, a dump truck, like full of what? And he's like, slate. I sell rocks. He's like, I have a dump truck full of slate parked like 3 blocks up the road.
So he's selling actual real rocks.
We turn to each other and just, oh, rocks.
Did you tell Doug that you thought he was a crack dealer?
Oh, absolutely. Doug bought us like 6 more drinks, man. We were having a great time.
Does Doug get that a lot? Is that like a thing that happens
that was
to
the
him?
first time anybody's ever thought Doug was a crack dealer.
Oh, wow. I bet Doug was real happy that night.
That might have been one of my favorite, at least one that popped in my head while I was thinking about Dennis Quaid here.
That's a good one. I usually just get the guy that's so drunk that I can't understand what he's saying, and he just keeps talking to me, and I just keep nodding and smiling.
As long as you don't have to end up babysitting them, I'm okay with those people.
Not for me. So from Hugh and his whole ass vibe at the bar, we cut to Hannah and Paul, played by Jenna Rollins, who obviously played Old Allie from The Notebook.
Possibly one of the better characters from it.
Yeah, R.I.P. Jenna Rollins, by the way. She just passed away like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, in her honor. Turns
out she had Alzheimer's, too.
Oh, no shit.
Which is wild, yeah.
Do you think she remembered the movie that she didn't remember in?
I don't know.
All right.
So from, we meet Jenna Rollins and Sean Connery, Hannah and Paul. And a married couple, 2 gigantic dogs, and I have their names somewhere, but one of them has I think it's Molly and Crackers. So a dog with a human name.
Yep.
I was immediately sold. And we come to find out that Paul has a brain tumor. And outlook not so positive. Like, Paul gonna die eventually.
Yeah.
He's in good health for the entirety of this movie, actually. Like, there's never any signs of him having deteriorating health.
No sudden nosebleeds.
Yeah, but it is implied that Paul is not long for this world.
Yeah.
And they've been married a very long time. You can tell they're clearly very in love. And very nice home. And we find out that Hannah has her own cooking show. She's basically like a Martha Stewart, Julia Childs type.
She's big time,
yeah,
too.
She's big time. Like, she's on television. She's syndicated. She's out there. We meet them. The most we get from that initial interaction is just Paul's got a brain tumor.
Yeah, and she's upset about it.
Yeah, obviously. From there, we meet Meredith, who is Scully from the X-Files.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, what is her name? Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson.
Scully, and we're going to be calling her Scully for most of this. Scully is a theater director. She puts on plays. She is walking out of a rehearsal with one of her coworkers, and they're talking to her about like needing to find a boyfriend or someone to date. And she can't be single all her life, and she kind of says, "You know what? I'm happy single." But as she walks away, kind of mutters under her breath, "Not really." Like, she's been unlucky in love, we'll say.
If I had a dog like that, I wouldn't need anybody else. We'll get to the dog. We're going to get to the dog.
Barley. She's got a big dog, too. So many big boys in this movie.
I audibly said 4 times during this movie, "Oh, that's a good boy." Like, it just came out of my face.
There's a bunch of dogs and one fucking homely-ass looking cat. And I like the cat.
I like the cat, too.
Yeah. From there, we meet Gracie, played by Madeline Stowe. She is getting on an elevator. Hops on. Elevator is full of like Japanese businessmen.
Probably the best joke in the movie, I think.
What does she go on? She goes, "Oh, I guess nobody, I was calling for you to hold the elevator. I guess nobody speaks English."
You'd think English wasn't your first language. She turns around, it's all Japanese businessmen.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I get it now. So they all get off the elevator and she is left on the elevator with Anthony Edwards from ER.
That is him, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And his name is Roger, and we find out that they were meeting. They're having an affair. Gracie is married. So is Roger. They're sleeping together, and it is strictly sex. Gracie does not want anything more than just a good time,
and he wants more.
Yeah, he is trying to get to know her more. He feels more of a connection to her.
He fucked around and caught feelings.
He did. He fucked around and caught feelings. From there, we meet Mark and Mildred. Now, this is where we get Jay Moore.
Possibly my favorite Jay Moore. A heavily sedated Jay Moore.
Heavily sedated and on death's door. Jay Moore.
I don't know why I don't really like this guy, but it seems easier than liking him.
He's got a punchable face. I don't know what it is about him either, but I'm with you on this. Like, I'm not a big Jay Moore fan. But we get Mark and Mildred. Jay Moore is in a hospital bed, clearly dying, does not look well, and his mother, Mildred, is here to stay with him in his last days. So he is not long for this world either, and way more not long for this world than Sean Connery was. And she is going to be staying bedside with him.
And, I should say, like, crapping on Jay Moore a little bit, but these two characters are fucking fantastic.
Yeah, they are really good.
They're really good at what they do.
Jay Moore, all he really has to do is just look weak and
look thirsty.
Talk like
I wanted to give him a drink of water the whole movie.
I mean, I guess as far as like acting like you're dying goes, he was doing a pretty good job. Mm-hmm. But he also didn't have to do a whole lot of heavy lifting. The mother, though, and I wish,
my God,
I don't know her name. She is a pretty famous actress.
Ellen Burstyn.
Yes, so that's who plays Mildred. Those are our main characters. These are the relationships that we'll be going over.
We have 5
in playing by heart. I'm gonna kind of go, I guess, maybe least favorite to favorite. I don't know how I want to do this, or maybe just like the easiest to discuss without as much meat to them. Because there's a few that I feel like have actually.
I think that would be the adulterers, right?
Some meat and some legs. The adulterers are the least.
Yeah, they have like the least real. I mean, every scene, like the first 12 scenes of them are kind of the same thing.
They really are.
They're meeting in a hotel room. He wants more. She wants penis.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I mean, you pretty much just summed up that whole relationship. Every scene is them in a hotel room having their affair. And Roger is constantly just like, I want to know about you. I want more. And, Gracie is just like, nope, we're good here. We come in here with no baggage. We leave with no baggage. That's the way I want it. Up until the point where they finish having sex and she is crying. And this is where it all kind of changes, because she tells him she cries when she feels immense pleasure, which they've been having an affair this long and she hasn't cried yet. If I was Roger, I'd have been like, oh, I guess I wasn't doing a very good job for the first 100 times. But then she kind of tells him a story about, when she first met her husband, the first time they had sex, it was great. And that she cried, and she told him this. And he said, well, then it's my goal to make you cry for the rest of your life, like to keep her happy forever. Well, we find out that like she doesn't feel like her husband has any imagination. He's boring. He's just kind of like a milquetoast guy.
Which actually kind of goes along with... So, of course, because this is a pre-Love Actually, there's a lot of crossover.
But what I liked about this is like you kind of piece it together as it goes.
They don't force it on you, yeah.
And there's like little hints and clues here and there.
Yes, and
you're like, oh.
They make multiple references to her husband before you find out who it is.
Yeah.
And everybody calls this guy bland and boring. Meanwhile, he's the most exciting dude in this movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
For sure.
I think so too, which we'll find out at the end who everybody is. But we also find out that so here's like the thing. They use these little hints and clues. And she calls Anthony Edwards a ball of anger at one point because he gets up from bed and he's frustrated that they can't have more. And she goes, don't turn into a ball of anger.
An anger ball.
An anger ball. Yeah, an anger ball. And we'll kind of find out throughout the movie that this actually kind of ties everybody together in a way. Every character uses this term anger ball. So you start to realize that, they're all connected in some way, shape, or form. But that's pretty much their relationship. Like at the end of it, that day when, she cries, they're both kind of talking about like, where do we go from here? And he asks her like, what would it take for you to want to be with your husband? And she's like, it could be as simple as him like asking me to go for a walk. Like she's just looking for like some kind of interaction or something.
That's a low bar.
Yeah, it's a real low bar. And he already, Roger's already pretty much done with his relationship. He just kind of has this realization that she makes him feel impulsive and like makes him want to do things, whereas in his other life, he's just kind of in a rut.
Yes.
So that's Gracie and Roger. We'll talk Jay Moore, dying Jay Moore, Mildred, and this one's pretty short too. It's a nice story.
I felt like this one was trying to make me cry a lot, and I didn't. I did cry during this movie.
Oh, did you?
I shed a tear.
Oh, did you?
Jay Moore didn't do it for me, but I did really like this story. I really loved, basically, when she starts talking about his ex-roommate, Jack, because, he's dying. She's like, where's Jack? Your old roommate. And he, looks at her and goes, Mom, seriously. I lived with the guy. He died of AIDS last year.
Yeah.
like it's a lot of, him looking at her and be like, woman, you got to take this serious.
Well, when she comes in, so when they first start, they address the fact that she has, just found out that he's gay. She knew, it seemed like, before she got to the hospital. But then there's, they'll be talking, and she says, where are all your friends? And he's like, you know me, Mom, I've never really had a bunch of friends. I'm not the kind of guy to run in a big circle. She goes, well, what about your roommate, Jack? And he's like, Mom, we weren't roommates.
Yeah, be real. You should figure this out.
And, he alludes to, he says that, a lot of his friends are gone, he says. And then he talks about Jack, and he goes, Jack died a year ago. But doesn't say... They tiptoe around AIDS in this movie, I feel like. The term is never actually used.
You're right.
They never say what it is.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
It is, but I thought it was very strange that they wouldn't... I mean, this was 1998. This was the height of the AIDS craze. It's
yeah,
everybody knew...
This was right when it kind of started to get a little better. They started coming out with drugs, but it wasn't in 98. That was probably around 2000 or so.
Yeah, so I don't know why they felt the need to never really address or say what it was. Mm-hmm. I thought that was an odd choice that kind of bothered me. Because you knew what it was. It was obvious what it was. But, he wants to have, these conversations with her because he knows he's dying. And, he tells her, I'm dying. You just have to kind of deal with that. And this is our last little bit of time together. So he asks her to play a game with him. And he wants her to tell him, one thing that she's always wanted to tell him, but couldn't or wouldn't for whatever reason. And she drops the best bomb. She's like, well, I never loved your father.
Boom.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck?
He's like, I was waiting for you to tell me that you stole grandma's cookie recipe. Like,
but they get into like a real big conversation about how, why did you marry him? And she says, well, I was 30. At that time, that was kind of old to not be married. He had a really good business. My mom kind of pushed me into it.
Divorce wasn't even a thing.
It wasn't because, like, she even says, like, I was actually relieved when he died.
Yeah.
Which is another bomb drop on him.
I've talked about it on this podcast before, I believe. My grandmother shot my grandfather and they didn't get divorced.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't do it back then.
Yeah. This conversation happens, and they have, like, these really nice, like, touching moments, like, kind of, like, getting to know each other a little better, because you can tell, like, she's finding out a lot of things about him for the first time. They didn't live close to each other. I think he's in New York. This is what I gathered.
Yeah.
And they live in LA. Most of this movie takes place in LA. But then, towards the end, like, he's very weak. He's on the doorstep of death. And he asks her to read him, like, a story when he was a kid that he used to like. And she reads him Goodnight Moon. And fucking good night, Jay Moore. Like, as she's reading it, he passes away.
She puts in the effort on this performance.
She really does.
He does too, but I mean, at that same point, you're like, this guy's like the comedy guy.
And I'm wondering what, like, made you cry, because this scene got me the closest. Because she did a really great job, like, this acting performance right here. And, like, when he dies, like, she kind of just holds him and just sobs after reading this, like, nice children's bedtime story. And it was a pretty touching, like, emotional kind of moment.
Yeah, it wasn't this one.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to hear what it is when we get to it.
I cried that I don't own a 400-pound dog.
Oh, I bet you. I wonder if I know why. From here, let's go to Gillian Anderson's character.
And John fucking Stewart.
So,
like, how weird is that? So here we got another comedy guy.
Yeah.
I think he brings it. Like, he actually did pretty well.
He does it. I thought, for the most part, the performances in this movie were pretty good, and he was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie blew me away in this movie, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, not that I haven't thought much of her, but never really looked at her as someone that I've enjoyed in movies, or, like, to me, you could replace her with another actress, and I would be okay with it. Like, it wouldn't. But she really had a lot of personality in this, and just really, like, what's the word I want to use?
She proved herself.
Not even that. She's very likable. It's not even the word I want to use, but, like, you really like her character. She brings a lot to it, like a lot of personality to it.
Yes.
We'll get to her, though. So we're going to do Scully first. So we're going to do Meredith. Meredith is at, I guess it's a bookstore. She's, like, asking a guy where a certain magazine is, like a theater magazine. It's on the top shelf of a bookshelf. She gets crushed by a bookshelf in this movie.
Really fast. You don't climb bookshelves. That's a thing.
No, well, she's, like, on a little ladder, I think, but she's, like, climbing up to reach for this magazine, and the whole thing just tips over and falls on her. And all these construction guys run out and pick it up off of her, and one of the guys that comes to help is Jon Stewart.
Who sees a nice young gal with a head injury and goes, I can get that.
Yeah.
That's mine.
He McConaughey her.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. What's his name? Trent is his name in this. And Trent is an architect. And apparently this is his building. Like, he's building this stuff. So immediately, you're not a very good architect. You've just got loose bookshelves just floating in the middle of the room that could topple on someone at any minute. But he gets her up and he asks her if he can take her out to dinner. He's like, it's the least I could do after I almost killed you with one of my bookshelves.
He's pretty insistent.
He is. And she's kind of like, you know what? You're just trying to, like, avoid a lawsuit here. It's fine. I'm not going to sue. He's like, no, I actually would really like to just take you out to dinner. They end up going on a date. And we find out that Meredith has been through it. Like, not the best luck in love. Like, she says to him, you're either going to turn out to be seeing somebody else or gay or crazy. And he's like, well, I might be crazy, And but you can tell there's flirtation. She likes him, but she's afraid to like someone.
She got the walls up, man.
Yeah. She's afraid to be hurt. But the first date goes, okay, they go for, like, a little walk afterwards, and we find out that she got married right out of high school to her high school sweetheart, and that guy turned out to be gay.
Yeah, she has, like, a little story for all three, like either married, gay, or crazy.
Yeah. We find out that her first husband was gay, and that it didn't work out, and immediately, this is like your first little breadcrumb, because I heard that, and I was like, it's Jay Moore. It's got to be Jay Moore's character.
I didn't put it together.
See, I did.
I felt so stupid.
As soon as I wrote in my notes, first husband gay. Jay Moore, ? And it turns out to be true. It was Jay Moore. So all these are really actually unlike Love Actually, you kind of find out how everybody actually is connected. All these stories really are connected.
But they don't beat you over the head with it.
No, whereas in Love Actually, they just didn't give it. They were like
Love Actually.
They're like, they know each other. It doesn't matter how. You don't need to know to enjoy the movie.
Or even worse, in the most recent one of these we watched. What the hell's the name of that movie? They're so terrible.
He's just not that into you.
He's just not that into you.
We just went into that movie.
Where it was almost like that thing was almost like a surprise that jumped out of the closet and every scene like, ha, these people know each other.
I liken this movie to like a mystery. Because I was actually invested in the movie in a way that I was like trying to piece together. Because they give you these little like phrases that the same characters all use. Or like they just throw in this like, my ex-husband was gay. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, maybe that's what's going on here. I kind of start to figure it out. But they do agree after the date's over to have a second date. And she invites him over to her place for dinner. And she says she gets to meet her roommate, who is Barley. The biggest goddamn dog I've ever seen. He's a good boy. He is a good boy. So second date, Jon Stewart gets to the apartment, and this dog jumps up and puts his paws on his shoulder. This dog is a good foot taller than Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart is his short man.
He is, but he could have put a saddle on this dog and rode it around town.
Oh, absolutely. This dog easily, 190, 200 pounds?
Some kind of mastiff or something. This dog is gigantic. But he's a good boy, and his name's Barley. This date goes horribly wrong. She invites him into the kitchen where she's making dinner, and he is just basically calls her out on her negativity. Like, she is like, this isn't going to work. Something bad's going to happen. I already know it. And he's kind of like, well, that pisses me off. Like, how are you ever going to get into a relationship if you're always expecting, like, the worst thing to happen? And she basically kicks him out, like, because he's upset that, like, she's not opening herself up to love.
And I kind of side with him on a lot of this stuff. He's very direct about it. He basically says, he's like, I'm 38 years old, clock's ticking. I'm tired. He's like, I do sleep with a lot of young women.
He doesn't say that.
Well, he says it in a roundabout way.
He says, I have no problem getting dates. Because she's like, well, you could date anybody. So, like, why even, like, try to date me? He's like, I can get dates. He's like, but I'm not looking for a date. Like, I'm looking for a relationship. And, like, you seem like someone that I would want to spend my time with and my life with.
I mean, he's direct about stuff, but he's not an asshole.
No, he's not. He's great. He's if anybody's awful, it's Scully.
Like, and she pulls it right out at the beginning, like, hey, we are not going to sleep with each other tonight.
Oh, yeah, as soon as he gets in the apartment.
Which I thought was implied by, like, the Italian food. Like, you don't eat a shit ton of garlic on a date.
But yeah, but he gets upset about that, too, because he's like, I didn't expect us to. Like, why are you putting out these parameters and, like, already, like, assuming what I'm here to do? And
I don't know if my wife, if I've ever told her this, but, like, my first date move used to be, like, Thai food, Italian food. Like, on my first date with her, we went for Thai food.
Yeah.
Because that basically takes the effort off the table. Like, you're not having sex after you eat a bunch of Thai food.
Okay.
Like, that was the thing. And both people know that. Like, you're not going to get weird with the bubble guts.
Uh-huh, yeah.
So it takes that stress off the table. You can enjoy that date. And then at 9 o'clock, you're both going to be like, hey, let's call it. Because you both have to get home as fast as humanly possible.
Fucking dating wizard. Look at you.
So he should have just been like, look, we're not going to do it tonight and ate a clove of garlic. Been like, you ain't even going to kiss me after this.
But so from there, he leaves. We get a scene a little later on in the movie where she is having like the opening night of the play that she's been directing. And there's a big party afterwards. And Jon Stewart shows up and talks to her, and I love him in this because she's like, you didn't have to come here to apologize, and he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, very much just like, no bullshit. Like, I'm just here because, like,
but he's not trying to make her feel bad. He's
not. He's just being honest. He's like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I just wanted to come and talk to you, and I've still been thinking about you, and why don't we have a third date where you can come to my place? Just don't bring your dog, right? She comes to his house for. Did you recognize the house? This is like a famous Hollywood house.
Oh, I did read something about it.
It was Tim Allen's house in Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
And it's been in a bunch of other movies, but that's the one I recognized it from. But he doesn't make dinner. He orders Chinese food, and they talk a little bit. And she decides that, like, she likes him. Pretty much just like he's just trying to convince her that, like, I want to be with you. Like, let's try this out. And then they have sex.
Yeah.
And for me, this was... I know you didn't like the kissing in the original Star is Born. This was some of the worst on-screen kissing I have ever seen in my life.
This is the kissing of two married people that don't want to kiss other people.
Yeah, and it was funny. I read a story about Gillian Anderson was being interviewed, and she was like, so you've kissed both Jon Stewart and David Duchovny. Like, how would you rate them? And she was like, I don't remember kissing Jon Stewart. I'd give David Duchovny an 8.
Yeah.
It is awful. Like, some of the worst, like, just button heads into each other and, like, mouths aren't open the right way. Like, it just looks so awkward.
They
like,
needed,
no chemistry whatsoever.
Yeah, they needed a little coaching on that, and they did not get it.
Zero chemistry. The next morning, they wake up, and she is in the midst of brushing her teeth. And she says to him, like, I really think that this actually might work out. And he's like, why? Because she's like, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, someone watching me brush my teeth is like a 10 as far as like the most uncomfortable, like, worst things. Like, I do not like it. And I don't mind this. And then she turns around and they kiss again. I kid you not, CJ, I gagged.
Because she is mid-toothbrushing.
She still has, like, toothpaste in her mouth and it is rolling down the side of her jaw. And they just started making out. And I was like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. When I say I gagged, it's not a joke. Like, I was like, ugh. Like, I had a gag reflex to these two swapping fucking Colgate. It was the most awful thing I've ever seen. But from there, she gets a phone call, and you can't hear what's on the other line, but it's a very, like, somber, like, she's upset. And then we cut to, because like I said, all this stuff kind of plays out throughout the movie at the same time. So you get like snippets here and there of each story. We're getting near the end of the movie at this point, and Jay Moore has already died. And next scene is her at the funeral with his mother. So my suspicions were confirmed that that was her first husband. And they have a nice little moment where she's like, you know, up until like a week ago when I found out he was gay, I was still always hoping that you two would end up back up together. And she sees the tombstone. He's actually buried with Jack. Like, they had like a plot together.
Which was, damn.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. And Meredith tells her, you know, you would have really liked Jack. He was good for him. And Mom's like mad. She's like, I wish, like, why wouldn't he have just told me? Like, I would have liked to have met him. Like, you can tell she would have been very understanding. Like, she's a good mom.
Yes.
A real good mom. So that's the end of that story. You know, they end up back at like in town because the mom is back in LA, I guess. Well, I guess maybe it all was in LA. I don't know why, because it seemed like Scully had to fly to get to the funeral. I think she did, because they end up back in LA.
Jay Moore was living in New York, so Mom flew to see him.
And they both fly back to LA together, because they've got baggage at the end, and like they're meeting at this, they both got out of the car together. And
physical baggage. Never mind.
Yeah, like the actual like luggage. I'm sorry.
Because
they've got a little bit of everything, but yeah, they've got luggage. She kind of tells the mom, you know, well, stop by later to the house. And that's where we're going to end that one until we tie it all together.
She's like, how's you, mother?
How's your mother? Let's talk Hannah and Paul now. We got Sean Connery and we got Jenna Rollins.
Yes.
Like I said, the first scene we just find out he's got the brain tumor. Second scene, we find out that she hosts a cooking show that they film like right in their house.
Where she drops fish on the floor and just plays it off in the most adorable way and then feeds it to him.
Yeah, well, she doesn't feed it to him. He eats it himself. So she's cooking and she goes to plate this fish she's cooking. It goes on the floor and she recovers because they're filming this. She picks it up, kind of brushes it off, puts it on the plate, and she says, you know, what happens in the kitchen stays in the kitchen. At this point, if I'd ever watched this woman's show, I would never eat anything that she cooked ever again. And then Sean Connery comes in and she's holding the plate of fish and he grabs a little bite off the plate and she goes, and he eats it and she goes, eh. Like, you know.
He's got a brain tumor. What's going to happen to him?
He's trying to finish it off quickly. We find out that he's downstairs at his desk working one night, and he says he's going over all the
bills,
and the financials.
Her accounts.
Yeah, he kind of produces the show, and like he has a part in it. And he's saying like they're not getting enough money for certain things, and he needs to look into it. And they go up to bed, and she's kind of suspicious of what he was actually doing at the desk. So she goes down and starts looking through some things. First, she finds he's working on his will, which kind of bums her out. You know, she finds out that he's got this working on, which, I mean, guy's got a brain tumor. You got to take care of your business. So he's doing the last will and testament, but she also finds an old photograph of a woman, Wendy. She confronts him about Wendy, saying, you know, you've got this picture. What's going on? Why do you still think about her? It comes out that she thinks that he had an affair, and she's very upset, rightfully so. And she goes upstairs, locks herself in the bedroom, and he comes up and he's like, I didn't sleep with her. Do you want to know why I didn't sleep with her? This is a fucking terrible move by Sean Connery. He's like, because I loved her.
Now, this is what I'm saying about the accent. Like, he says, it's not even the dumb thing to say. It is, like, the maliciously mean thing to say.
But it never comes across, like, I don't know that I feel like he's being malicious. I feel like he's just being honest. But it's also, like, not great.
Yeah, but honest in just kind of a dick way.
He is a
right?
dick for some of it, yeah. I don't feel like it's so much when he's talking about Wendy, but it's, like, other things. Like,
I was waiting for him to be like, did you sleep with her? And he goes, no. I slept with her sister. You know, like, just like whatever the next worst thing could be.
Yeah, let me just up this. But he keeps making it worse for himself, essentially. He says, I didn't sleep with her because I loved her. And she slams the door in his face. And then the whole movie, they're just kind of fighting. Like, there's a scene where he walks in and she's watching a movie. And he goes, oh, this is the one where such and such happens. And he spoils the whole movie for her.
Yeah.
And she gets mad about that. And
in the end, he is Tyler Durden.
Yeah. There's a great line, though.
I guess I am going to do my own Sean Connery a little bit. It's fun, right?
It is. It's a good time. She drops this line on him, which actually she kind of gives it to him, too. I don't think she means to, though, where he's kind of like, well, how long can you stay mad at me? And she's like, well, how long do you got? And he's like, that's a very good question, because the guy is fucking dying from a brain tumor. And you can tell, like, she didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
And as soon as he says that, she's kind of hurt because she realizes that this guy's dying. Like, I kind of fucking said a shitty thing. All the things that he says, like, I don't know if he means to be shitty, but they definitely seem shitty. This, she was not trying to be malicious at all. And
no, she realizes it real quick.
She kind of put her foot in her
How
mouth.
long do you got? And he's just like, I don't know. The doctor said not to push too hard when I poop. Like, that's how long I got.
Yeah, it ain't long. They have a final scene where she's sitting out by the pool and he comes out and he's like, I need to explain to you, like, what happened. And it turns out that this Wendy was, like, working on her show at the time. They were put together by the production company to work on things. And he did fall in love with her. And what happened was, like, from what I gather, didn't have a very high opinion of himself anymore. And, like, their marriage was kind of struggling because he didn't think that he was worth loving. And then when someone else fell in love with him and he was able to love them back, it made him realize that he was worth loving and that he wanted to be with his actual wife and not this other woman.
You just summed up like 40 minutes of the movie in like 3 lines that he could have said.
Yeah, but he does say that, and I was still kind of like, I don't know. Like, I get what you're saying, but, like, still the logic of it is not, like, there is such a thing as, like, emotional infidelity.
Oh, absolutely.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
what?
It's no different than being like, oh, I had to have sex with her and please her to remind myself that I am a good lover so that I could come back home and satisfy the woman that I really loved. It's no different than that to me.
Yeah.
It's still an awful thing to do.
The real thing he should have done is just been like, oh, that picture? Yeah, I don't know where that came from. It must have fell out of something here and throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Problem over. Live out the next, whatever, month of your life you have left.
Yeah, right. I mean, you don't got a lot of time left. Why fight?
Yes.
But she kind of says, like, I chose you. Like, I came back. 'Cause I guess Wendy was leaving town and he had a choice to make. Like, I end my marriage and I go with her, or I stay at home. And he says he wasn't even sure until he came home and saw his wife and was like, this is who I want. I choose you.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. Like, pretty much just like, all right, everything's fine now.
We're good. Which
in her mind, she was probably like, this guy's going to be dead in like a month. So, I mean, I might as well just go along. I don't want to do this for the next month. It's going to be depressing.
She busts out her own picture of like the mailman.
Yeah. And then from there, we'll talk about I think my favorite relationship in this movie.
We got a little bit of we got a Dennis Quaid thing going on.
Oh yeah, I didn't really talk about the Dennis Quaid thing.
He's sort of a throw-in on this, but he's also very interesting because
he is
the first 3 times they show this guy, you're like, what the hell is going on?
You're right. Okay, so this was like another mystery, and I did enjoy this quite a bit. So we meet Dennis Quaid, and he walks into this bar, and this poor woman's just trying to have a drink by herself, and he's like, my wife and kid are dead. And
yeah!
We cut back a little bit later, and he's sitting with this woman, and he's telling her this story about how it was Tuesday night, and Tuesday night was Pizza Hut night. And, like, they went to Pizza Hut, him and his wife and his son, every night. And he went out after work to the bar and had a few drinks. Not that many. He wasn't drunk, just a little tipsy. Nothing crazy. I can still drive kind of drinks, is what...
I love, he actually uses the line, he's like, I had like 3 drinks, and then I got behind the wheel, like 4 drinks, 5 max. Like, he keeps upping it.
Going up and up. And he is just like distraught, and he's telling the story about how he was racing to get to the Pizza Hut on time to meet his wife and son.
As you do.
He said the light turned yellow and he thought he could make it, and then the light turned red, and as he went through the light, his wife and son were in a car coming the other direction trying to get to the Pizza Hut as well. And he hit them, and they died in a car crash. And he tells this big, long story, and this woman at the bar is just crying, just in tears. And then he gets up and leaves, and we see like this mysterious woman sitting at the bar. They focus in on her, and she kind of looks over her shoulder at Dennis Quaid, like, knowingly. And you're like, oh, this is interesting. Like, what are these two up to?
Absolutely no clues. Like, I was befuddled.
I was too. And he walks out into the rain and just walks away. We get a scene of him later in the movie where he's sitting at another bar, but completely different mood and vibe, where he's just kind of like, again, talking to this woman at a bar, starts talking to her about how bad his day was. And he goes into this thing about, I'm an NBC executive. I work on the scheduling. I make the TV shows. Like, I put them in the places where they need to go. I greenlight things. I shut shit down. And he's like, they fired me today. And on top of that, my wife, who we thought was dead, left me because I'm a failure. And she's sleeping with another guy at NBC. And he's telling this big sob story.
The guy that's got the Good Thursday lineup is what he says.
Yeah. You're like, this guy's a fucking liar. This, like, that he's like some kind of like grifter or something.
Which is also freaking me out because at the first bar, that woman was into him, or at least into his story, and he just bailed out on her. And I'm like, what's he lying for? Like, because I've met guys at the bar that do the same thing to women.
Yeah.
For one reason and one reason only.
Yeah. So he gives on this big long spiel, and this woman at the bar is like trying to get away, essentially, like towards the end of it, but she humors him for a very long time. And they have these drinks together. And she's like, I really have to go. I'm already late for whatever I'm doing. She gets up. She goes to the maitre d' and hands him like money for cab fare for him. And says, get him home. We see the same mysterious woman sitting at the bar, like looking over her shoulder. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking these guys are scammers. They're grifters. Something's going on here. Very last scene, well, not very last scene with Dennis Quaid, but the very last like scam he runs is he is at a drag club, and he is talking to a drag queen at the bar, and he tells
in the most ridiculous, like, Googling how to look gay costume I've ever seen.
He's talking to this drag queen, and he's like, I cheated on my wife with her brother, and he's telling this big long story about how he slept with his wife's brother. This drag queen is like super into it, like invested in the story, but then at the end of it, drag queen is like, you know what, honey, you ain't gay. Like, I can tell you're bullshitting, like, kind of saw through everything. Calls him out on it, and then just gets up and leaves. Like, she's like, I enjoyed the story, but like, it's obviously
like, she says like, I had a blast tonight.
Yeah, but obviously
this was great, but you are full of shit. Like, I just want you to know, I know that.
Gets up and leaves, and he looks disappointed that like it didn't work this time. And again, as he goes out and gets in a cab to leave, mysterious woman is there again. Right? Cut to another scene of him at another bar about to do his thing. He goes up to the mysterious woman and asks if he can buy her a drink. And they start talking, and we find out that he is just in an improv class. This is like an assignment that they've been doing all week, where he goes and pretends to be somebody in every different bar.
And this made me think, was Doug really even selling rocks? I never saw that
truck. God, he could have been an improv.
This guy, yeah.
You never saw that dump truck?
I never saw that dump truck.
Interesting. Doug, if you're out there, let us know. Are you still selling rocks? Slate, that is.
Slate,
just for the record. We're not trying to buy rocks. He starts talking to this girl. We find out he's in this improv class, and he says that, I feel more like myself out here pretending to be somebody else than I do at home. My wife doesn't think I have any imagination. She thinks I'm boring. At this point,
you're like, holy shit.
It clicks. It's Gracie. It's the one that's cheating on her husband, because she says, like, my husband is boring. He has no imagination. We cut to a scene of him coming home, and it is Gracie at home. And they're kind of talking about, well, I'll see, this is what's going on tonight. Feed the dogs, yada, yada, yada. Don't forget about Saturday. And this threw me, too, because the last interaction Gracie has with Roger, the guy she's sleeping with, she says, don't forget about Saturday. And I'm like, ooh, shit. Are we these two meeting up somehow? Like, what's going on?
Thruple.
Like, it's very strange. Like, is she gonna like spring it on him that she's cheating on him with the guy right there?
I clocked this scene. This is the first time there's hints. This is the first time there's actually overlap in any of the stories. It's at an hour and 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Of a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Where they're
it
like,
all
hey,
comes
let's
together
start
at the
putting this
end.
together. Yeah.
It all comes together at the end. Now we'll talk about, like, I think my favorite, like, this relationship has the most meat.
I think so.
On the bone. This is Angelina Jolie's character, Joan, and Ryan Phillippe.
Who stares right through your soul.
He really does. He's got those eyes, man.
I don't know what it... Like, this is one of the reasons...
He's very brooding.
I don't really like babies, because babies stare at me in a way that makes me feel small.
Is that how Ryan Phillippe made
Ryan Phillippe has the same stare, where he just stares at people, and you're like... This guy's not interested in anything.
It's just dead inside.
Yeah, like I kind of want to dangle like a binky in front of him and be like, is this what you're looking for?
But he plays a character named Keenan. We start out like at a club, like a rave, where Keenan is just dancing by himself out on the dance floor. As he goes to like get in line for the restroom, Angelina Jolie's character Joan is on the payphone, arguing with her very, very like recent ex. Like, she's arguing about, like, what they're going to keep of each other's. Because I guess they live together. They're
name dropping IKEA, Williams-Sonoma, all the different furniture.
Yeah, she's bargaining, but the thing she wants more than anything is the cat. So she's on the phone, and he hangs up on her, and she needs a quarter, so she turns around. Ryan Phillippe's there, in line for the bathroom. Asks him for a quarter. He gives her one. She gets back on the phone. Bargaining again. Like, you can keep the Williams-Sonoma, you keep the home goods, whatever. Like, all this different stuff. Hangs up on her again. She turns around. Quarter at the ready. He's been like listening intently to this conversation because this woman is having a meltdown on the phone. And she says, well, negotiations are almost over. This should do it. Gets back on the phone, negotiates the return of her cat safely. She's like, when I get home, take all the furniture, get the fuck out. As long as the cat's there, I'll be happy.
I had assumed this was a bitter divorce. She mentions not long after this is a 4-month relationship that she's ending.
This actually, I didn't catch that, but this makes total sense.
I mean, I've been in 4 months relationships where I didn't even know where the other person lived. Like, they had already moved in together, got a cat, went to IKEA.
Yeah.
That is absolutely 7th month material.
Yeah, I think that cat, I think she might have had that cat before even, I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like she gets to the cat and she turns on Ryan Phillippe and she goes, well, at least I can do for you help me out with all the quarters is let you buy me a drink. And yanks him out of the bathroom line. So all I can think of is the entire time they're talking, like Ryan Phillippe has to go to the bathroom so badly. He's drowning. But they sit down, they have some drinks, and she's one of these people that just, whole life story, just laying it all out in the line. And Ryan Phillippe is just kind of like, I can't get in a word in edgewise. Like, he's kind of interested in her, like, because she's clearly an interesting person, has a lot going on. But at the same time, he's just like, just shut the fuck up for a minute, because like I can't get a word in. They have like this kind of like love-hate thing going on.
Yes. Like, he just calls that, like, he's got no time for her shit.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling where he's calling her out. Two things that bothered me in this scene. One, I hate any scene that involves two people screaming at a club at each other.
Uh-huh.
Like, that drives me nuts. It's a reason I don't go to loud bars.
Yeah.
Like, I hate yelling at people that are fucking 2 feet away from me.
I gotcha.
Also, she orders 2 drinks. And I don't know if this guy turns around and just steals them off another table, but he basically walks off screen, walks back, and is like, here's your 2 drinks. And I was like, that's not the way it works at any bar, especially not like a dance club.
And I've also never seen like a big dance club like that with like waiters and tables.
Yeah.
But, she kind of, they end their night, and she kind of says, well, like, let's have a date. Like, let's do this again. And he's like, I don't date. She's like, what do you mean I don't date? You don't date? He's like, I just like to be myself. I come here, I dance by myself. Like, I'm a loner, Dottie. I'm a rebel. So he walks off. They run into each other at the club another night, and same thing. Like, they get some drinks together, and you can tell like he remembers her drink from the night before, and he orders her one. And there's like a nice like they have like a good. He's very brooding, like very like, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, but I'm going to talk to you. And she's very interested in him, and she's just every scene they're in together, she's just unloading her whole life story. And we know very little about Keenan. Like, he doesn't get to talk much.
He makes it seem as if he doesn't give a crap about her, but then they also keep dropping in these hints that he is hanging on to every single word. He remembers very specific details.
Yeah, he does. And she finally convinces him to go out with her to see a movie. And he's like, it's not a date, but like, I'll go see a movie. They go to a theater. I got a kick out of like the movies on the board outside. It took me back because it was like Chasing Amy. There was something else like definitely 90s. And then there was a poster for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I really appreciated.
Yes.
He walks her to her car though, and they get to the parking garage. And she's on the Prince level, which I like that. I enjoyed that. Yes. The artist formerly known as Prince level. Like,
which I thought was just a joke about it being like, you know, like our local garages have like orange level, blue level. I thought they were going to get out on purple level. No, there's a big old decal of Prince on the wall.
Well, it's kind of like if you're from Pittsburgh, like we are. There's like some parking garages on the North Shore, like where all the stadiums are, and it's like the Roberto Clemente level, the Franco Harris level, like local celebrities, like sports celebrities. So I guess like I don't know if they were like a Hard Rock parking lot or what, but it was all musical artists because he said, you know, I thought you would have parked on the Madonna level, things like that. But her car is gone, like has been stolen, and she freaks out. So he has to take her home. They get back to her apartment, and he just leaves her. Like, she's still insisting that, like, there's something there they should date. And he's like, nope, I don't date. I'm not going to date you.
After he meets her one-eyed cat with a lot of personality.
Yeah, with also a human name. The cat's name is Blanche.
Yep.
Also named after a Golden Girl. So you get double points for that one. But this cat is like a just mangy-looking, like, one-eyed cat.
I loved it.
I did, too. I want a mangy cat. They meet up again at the club, and this is where Keenan finally kind of like spills his soul, essentially. They go to the club for a little bit. They end up going out to like a diner for food. And also, we get the same monologue from the beginning, which I didn't need.
We didn't need the whole thing.
No, we find out that like this is the guy she's talking to about dancing to architecture.
I think
they did the whole thing again. Like,
it kind of sullied the monologue. Like, they could have not had it at the beginning, had it right here.
Or had like a little bit of it, or like just had her finishing it up at the and then roll into whatever. But, you know, he kind of tells her, like, I had my one true love. We're not together anymore. I can't date anymore. And she keeps pushing the issue. And he's like, well, this is what really happened. I was dating her. Little did I know, I was sharing her with, like, a bunch of other people. Like, she had multiple partners. And they were sharing needles. And then he says, and then she shared something with me. Yeah. Which, again, they tiptoe around, like, HIV, AIDS, which I thought was strange. But it's implied, you know, that he has caught that. They end up in a car, and she, like, locks him in the car, like, won't let him out. Basically,
this is the scene I cried at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was it, man. They put the work in on this scene right here, which Ryan Phillippe, like, I did not see that coming. Angelina Jolie, like, I know she's fantastic. Yeah, like, he did it.
I know I've brought it up before, but The Way of the Gun. You should watch The Way of the Gun. It's a great movie with Ryan Phillippe and Benicio del Toro, who play, like, kidnappers.
Okay.
Fantastic. It's a movie I absolutely adore. But they have this scene where she's like, I love you. And I'm like, first of all, way too fucking soon. Like this, now it makes sense that you were in a relationship with a guy for 4 months and already had an apartment and furniture together and a mangy cat.
Yeah.
She clearly is jumping into things way too fast here. But then he basically is like, you can't love me because I love you. She's like, well, let's just be together. And he was like, I can't. And then, if you cried at this part, did you laugh hysterically the next scene? Because I did.
When he got out and ran?
He gets out of the car and runs like fucking Forrest Gump down the sidewalk. Like, if you saw a guy get out of a car and run like that, you would immediately think, like, yes, he's escaping a kidnapper. Which essentially he was. Like, she had locked him in the car. He got out and just ran like a motherfucker down the street.
Like, I love you. Can you help me put this couch in the back of my van?
See, does this smell like chloroform?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he runs. Like,
he did run.
It was so weird, like such a weird scene. He just like ran for his life. Oh. But then like the next day she's at the apartment, she's on the phone with somebody talking about like, I'm never going to see this guy again. Like this is what happened.
Yeah, he's an anger ball.
Yeah, she calls him an anger ball.
But this is an ongoing thing is the three ladies that I didn't catch have phone calls, one-sided phone calls. Explaining their love lives at different points in this movie.
Yeah. She gets a knock on the door, and it's Ryan Phillippe, it's Keenan, and he's like, I haven't been able to stop thinking about you. I'm like, well, it was literally just last night. Like, it's probably normal. Yeah. But he tells her, you know, like, I can't stop thinking about you. I love you. I don't know how we're going to make this work. We can't have sex. And she's like, well, we'll figure it out. Like, it was kind of a nice, like, touching scene. Like, and then they are in bed together. And essentially, I feel like he's moved in already. Because he's like, maybe someday I'll even grow to love this mangy cat of ours. And I'm like, all right, so these two are married, I guess. I don't know. Everybody's falling in love real quick in this movie. And then we get the scene that kind of buttons it all together. We find out what Saturday is. Saturday is Hannah and Paul renewing their marriage vows, 40 years of marriage. These are all their daughters.
It caught me off guard.
Yeah, I knew.
I didn't see it coming.
I knew it was coming. I called it like an hour in, especially because they were all using like little hints, like the anger ball. They all said anger ball. I just knew it. I was like, if these three are connected, then they're connected to everyone.
I feel like I usually catch this shit early. I must have just shut my brain off.
And Hannah and Paul had talked about having kids, and like we never saw the kids or met the kids, and I was like, this is their kids. So they all show up at the wedding. Joan brings Keenan.
Scully brings
the Daily Show with her.
Yeah.
Meredith and Trent show up together. And then Gracie is there with her husband, Hugh, Dennis Quaid. And there's like a weird scene. Theirs is like, as much as I like the Dennis Quaid parts of this movie, their relationship is by far the worst out of all of it. Because like there's a scene where they're in like a gazebo. And Joan comes up with Keenan and introduces him to Hugh. And she's like, Hugh is a video game designer. And he asks, well, what games have you designed? And he tells him the game. He's like, oh, man, that's a great game. You must have a great imagination. And then Gracie's like, oh, my God, he has a great imagination. I love this man again. And then, like, also, too, like, Joan says, oh, have you been enjoying that improv class that I recommended? She finds out he's been doing improv classes. And all of a sudden, she's back in love with her husband just because someone told, which... Like we said before, she was like, it could just take him asking me to go for a walk. So apparently, all it really took was like someone else aside from her being like, this guy's got a great imagination. And then she was like, sploosh, motherfucker. Like, I'm in.
Now, all right, so you clocked it early that they were all sisters.
Yeah.
Did you catch early who Gracie's lover was?
It was Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, the priest.
Well, yeah, but you didn't know that till the end. Like, there was no way to know that.
Okay, yeah. Because that, I mean, blew my hair back,
yeah,
man.
So then they have the service and, like, they pan up to the priest and it's fucking Roger, the guy that Gracie's been sleeping with this entire time.
Yeah.
But then at the end, like, everybody's sharing a dance together, like, all the couples. And then you see, like, Roger from the sidelines just watching Gracie dance with her husband, looking all in love. And he's like, well, fuck. There's
a point in which he asks her, like, would you leave him for me? And she's like, well, would you leave your love?
He's married. He has kids because he says he was dropping his kids off.
Oh, so he's not like Catholic.
No, he's like a I don't know what priest can get married, but he's like a Christian priest or Protestant priest. Yeah, he's got a family.
Welcome to Religion Corner with Jason and CJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my final note on this is the fucking priest.
Yeah. But so yeah, from there we just get like this little like I guess like buttoning things up. It's just everybody dancing. You see a little bit of all the couples looking happy together. And then mom and dad, Hannah and Paul, are just kind of like looking at all their kids, saying like how, you know, Keenan looks like he's perfect for Joan, and they look happy, and this couple looks happy, and then they're happy now, you know, they've gotten past. And we never really touch on the fact that Paul's just going to die any minute with a brain tumor. Like, that was like not necessary, I didn't feel like, for the movie. No. I didn't really get the point of him having a brain tumor. The affair could have been enough, but I don't know. The emotional affair. But yeah, that's the movie. Any grand gestures or flowers for this thing?
I don't think I was in tune with this as much as you were. I did not catch on to a lot of this movie. I love the mystery of it.
Yeah, I did too, but I like putting the pieces together. Like,
yeah. Like, and it didn't feel insane whenever the stories started to overlap. Like, it didn't feel like, oh, LA is just this tiny little town like they did with...
Yeah. Like Valentine's Day was the one where like everybody knew each other. That took place in LA too, I think.
I really, really liked Angelina Jolie in this. One of the things, like, I don't know, you know, like, we both pretty much were young kids during the AIDS crisis.
Yeah.
Which AIDS is still around, but it's a hell of a lot more manageable.
Yeah,
You're expected to live most of a full life.
Yeah.
If you have HIV or AIDS now, or in a first world country, I guess. But I do remember, you know, a few of my parents' friends catching this back in the early 90s, and the stigma was insane. Like, my parents were very, very big on, like, hug this person.
Yeah.
But back then it was, you don't go near those people. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I remember people telling me,
there
like, don't touch them.
There was a lot of misinformation. Yeah.
Yeah, you would, it was basically like how COVID started, where it was like, oh no, you want to have like 4 feet of bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
But I know that Angelina Jolie, she's big, you know, for her kind of crazy wild size, she's also big philanthropist, big humanitarian.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see that in this, where they make sure that both with Jay Moore and with her and Keenan, that there's a lot of physical contact. There's a lot of, this person is sick, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not a threat. They're not a loaded handgun.
Why didn't they ever use the term AIDS or HIV?
I'm going to get to that in my chick flick to a dick flick.
Okay. That really bothers me. Like, if anything bothers me about this movie, it's the fact that, like, they allude to what they have, but never actually call it by name.
But, like, I appreciate that. I bet at the time it probably felt a lot more real back in 98, like we were saying, when this stuff was still pretty fresh.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember being a kid and being around people that had AIDS and being absolutely terrified to be around them.
Yeah.
You know, so this is the kind of thing that, like, opens that up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my super sentimental
Okay. I like
flowers.
that. I'm going to go off the Angelina Jolie thing you were talking about. I just thought this was interesting. I didn't know this. She was actually offered the role of Trinity in The Matrix, which went to Carrie-Anne Moss, and she couldn't take the role because she was already committed to doing this movie.
Ooh. She would have been great.
And that would have, I mean, she blew up after this, but that would have fucking skyrocketed her in like another.
Thanks to a little movie called Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. But yeah, so, I mean, that was interesting to me. This also film has kind of a dubious distinction. This was the last movie to ever receive 2 thumbs down from Siskel and Ebert before they called it. So, which I don't think is warranted. Not that I ever really agree with Siskel and Ebert on a lot. I mean, they panned Jurassic Park, if you're not familiar with that. They gave that a very lukewarm review. Mm-hmm. So I don't think those guys really knew what they were talking about. Yeah, but those are mine. Shall we chick flick it to a dick flick it?
Yeah.
You want to go? You seem like you got one.
Well, I'm
still not really sure where I fall on this.
I also noticed, because I think these ones are so tough to do this with, because it is just a million different stories. So I noticed too, just like you, that they don't mention, HIV or AIDS at all, but people were obviously sick.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a little less that they were showing that they were sick. Let's turn this into a virus outbreak movie.
Okay.
Where it is a situation where you don't want to be in close contact with these people.
Uh-huh.
And then because these movies have so much overlap, we're tracking this virus going from person to person as it spreads and becomes a full-on pandemic that murders LA.
Oh, wow.
That's the movie that I want. So it's basically Outbreak, but at the localized level.
With a love story.
Yes, love story Outbreak.
Okay. I really want to just hone more in on the Dennis Quaid character, because I thought he was so goddamn interesting until they revealed what he was actually doing. And then I was like, oh, it's fucking stupid now. I kind of would like to see this where he is just like a con man who's out here like sleeping with different women, like with these different stories. But what I want to do is replace every male lead in this and just make it him. So like Angelina Jolie falls in love with Dennis Quaid. He's at a rave, like dancing away. And he's got his story. He's pretending to be an architect and he falls in love with Scully. And he's also the guy that Gracie is cheating on her husband with. So it's not actually her husband. And then they all invite him to this wedding at the end and he shows up. And they're all like, wait a minute. We're all dating the same guy. And I just think that he was so goddamn interesting in this. And they kind of like ruined it for me when they told me what he was actually doing.
Yeah, you were like, you're not going to make me like an improv actor.
Yeah, no. I was like, oh, this is bullshit. I thought he was up to something a little more devious. Like he's trying to con all these women out of something. And then that woman, the mysterious woman, is like his accomplice who's like helping him out with things and just keeping an eye on things. And yeah, that's good.
Because he's trying to get the mom's money.
Oh yeah, he's trying to get into this the cooking empire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like it.
Great.
All right, so that's mine. Let's Nick Cage it.
All right, what do you got? Are you going straight to Angelina Jolie?
No, I'm going straight to motherfucking Sean Connery.
All right, there you go.
It was too easy not to. Although I didn't even think about the Angelina Jolie connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Sean Connery's in The Rock, and Nicolas Cage is in The Rock. I wasn't jumping through a lot of hoops on this one.
Nice.
It was too easy. How many Sean Connery movies are we going to get in this list? Probably not anymore. So got to get it while the getting's good.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's mine. Easy peasy.
I am going to go with, I kind of wanted to replace him. There's a great scene at the end at the drag show where the bartender comes up and hits on him.
Oh, yeah. He's like a leather daddy.
Not gonna go there. Yeah, like the leather daddy. Not going there. I want him to be Barley, the dog. You know, if you're gonna have somebody 200 pounds licking Jon Stewart's face, let's make it Nicolas Cage.
Jesus Christ.
So, like, there's that great scene where he rolls over in the bed and Barley's in the bed. And I mean, people, when I say this dog is big, like, look this dog up.
It weighs more than Jon Stewart, 100%. This dog is fucking massive.
Yes, I don't know if I've ever seen a movie dog this.
He's just the sweetest boy.
But yeah, I want that to be Nicolas Cage, who also I thought you were going to probably connect Barley to Nicolas Cage in this movie. But
no.
Yeah, that would be him.
I like it. All right, let's rate it.
Hot damn, I'm going the same as I did last week, 3.75.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't care what Siskel and Ebert said. And like you said, they panned Jurassic Park. Fuck them.
Yeah, exactly.
They deserve what they got in the end.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, maybe not that far.
They're both dead.
Oh, wait, are they?
Yeah. I think one had cancer.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Fuck 'em.
CJ says, good for you, Siskel and Ebert. You got what you got. You had it coming.
No.
I don't stand by any of that.
All right, let's go back to 3.75 with a hearty thumbs up.
There you go.
Yeah, this movie, I liked it. It kept me on my toes. It kept me guessing. The acting was incredible. I didn't hate any of these characters.
Yeah.
Let's go with it. This was a movie that I would have been happy to see outside of this podcast.
Okay. Nice. I'm fighting with myself on this one because a lot of times I'll rate these movies based on the relationships and like if I think they make sense and if I like them. And these are all so dumb. Like these people all fall in love with each other. Like fucking Meredith falls in love with Trent like 3 dates in and hates him, like doesn't want to date him up until the minute she sues with him, and then all of a sudden he's dog sitting for her and he's sleeping in her bed, like staying at her house when she's not home, and she calls him at one point, she's like, is it too late to say I love you? I'm like, bitch, it's too early. Like it's been 3 dates. What is going on? And then like Angelina Jolie and Keenan, like, how do they love each other? They've barely spent any time. They've just shouted at each other across the club so much. And Keenan has said nothing. Like, there's a point in this movie where she actually says to him, I know nothing about you, but she loves him. And I'm like, this is so damn stupid. Like, you people shouldn't be. And then the way that, like, Hugh and Gracie, like, she falls back in love with her husband just because some guy said you've got an imagination. It's all so counterintuitive to what I want from these things and how I feel. But God damn it, if I didn't like this movie.
That's great.
And it might be like, it might be one of my favorite ones we've watched so far. Like,
really?
I think I'm giving this a 4. Like, I really liked the little Easter eggs and the breadcrumbs and like putting it together. And like these movies so often with these big ensemble casts that they're all connected. It's so muddy, like how they are connected, and like they just kind of let you be like, oh, you know what? They know each other. Don't fucking worry about it.
Yes.
But like this one, they didn't put it out there up front that they knew each other, and you kind of, as you were watching, like, oh.
I could have got to the end of this movie and none of these people knew each other and been like, all right,
yeah,
let's go
it's
into
fun.
this.
But like I figured it out as I went, and that was fun for me. And some of the performances were, like I said, Angelina Jolie was just great in this movie. And there were, like, other one, like, you know, Jon Stewart was actually pretty good in this movie. Ryan Phillippe, surprisingly, pretty good in this movie. Sean Connery and Jenna Rollins, like, great actor and actress, like, good in this movie.
You can make a love story just about those two, and I'd watch
and
it.
I dug it, man. So 4 stars. Like, was it a perfect movie? No. Like, I'm taking off a star basically just because of how stupid the relationships were. And, like, I didn't think they were earned or they shouldn't have gotten there. And they were all terrible for each other. And, hey, shout out to Jay Moore and, like, the lady that played his mom.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm giving a full-on star just like, for the goodest boy I've ever seen.
Oh, Barley. But, yeah, that's it. I guess we got to pick a movie for next week.
Yeah.
We are at 191.
Let's get a good shitty one. 58.
Oh, that's prime territory. Oh, CJ, it was inevitable. She's coming back.
Ooh, Julia?
Julia Roberts in My Best Friend's Wedding.
Really?
Yes, sir. I don't know anything about that movie. I know that her best friend gets married, and I'm pretty sure that they end up loving each other. This is what I know.
Pretty sure I've seen this movie.
Really?
Yeah, because this movie was unavoidable. I think this
I
is
avoided
one
it.
that my parents may have like rented, and I just watched it on. I know I've seen this movie.
I avoided the shit out of this movie. But as we all know, Julia Roberts is unavoidable. Death, taxes, and Julia Roberts. She's coming for you at some point.
Heck yeah, man.
Gonna have to do it.
We need more Sandra.
We do. I don't know if we'll make sure there's more of her on the list. I'm sure there is. But so yeah, until next time when we talk about my best friend's wedding. Like I always say, check us out on the socials. We're on Facebook. You've Got Mails. CJ makes a spicy meme every week. They're wonderful. They make me laugh every Friday. I chuckle.
Description.
I chuckle. They're spicy memes. Email us at you've.gotmails@yahoo.com. Louise, if you're listening, please let us know your thoughts on Sean Connery.
Do you know him? Have you met him?
Right, he's probably like your neighbor. He probably just drives around Scotland in a golf cart wearing a kilt. That's my guess. Playing the bagpipes, eating haggis. Can I cram any more Scottish stereotypes into this sentence?
Hating British people.
That's right.
Yeah.
And like us and subscribe to us where you get your podcasts at. Give us a rating. The more stars, the better. Just like this movie. The more stars, the better. There are a lot of stars in this movie. And yeah, until next time, stay romantic. Don't be shit at each other.
I think Jay Moore was in a Nick Cage movie too. Like, he's all over this movie.
Fucking Jay Moore. I want to punch him so hard.